question, then we look at one real example. Now, in the real example, the y2 is not given. The y2 you cannot find directly, right? And don't find the y2 directly. Another thing is the delta y is not known. So don't try to find the delta y by substituting some values. No, right? So in the actual question, the y2 and the delta y is not known. You have to make use of this formula. Delta y over delta x is dy dx. You have to make use of this formula. Okay, right. Now what I mean by that, you look at this first example here. You look at the first example here. Right, the question is, find the approximate increase in area of a circle when its radius increases from 5 to 5.02. Okay, now first of all, you have to, like in our previous question, you have to identify the variables involved. Can you see this part here? Then list out the values and the small change. Write down the relationship, differentiate the relationship, quote the formula, substitute inside. Can you remember the rate of change is something like this? So after reading the question, what are the variables involved? Can you answer me?
Pardon, teacher?
What are the two variables in this question? Question number 2.
Area and radius.
Area and radius, correct. All right. Then what is given? 5 to 5.02, these two numbers. What are they?
R1 and R2.
Correct, they are R1 and R2. Now, if you know R1 and R2, then what can you find?
Delta R.
Correct, you can find the delta R. How you find the delta R? You use the final value of R, 5.02, minus the initial value of R, which is 5. So you write down there, delta R is R2 minus R1. 5.02 minus 5, 0.02. What is the next step? What is the next step? You read from here, then you tell me what is the next step. Okay, now you list out the value and the small change. Small change here, values, they are all here, small change here. So what is the next step? Just now you told me what are the variables? Area and radius. So what is the next step here?
List out the value and small change.
The value and small change already written there. So the next step is to find out the relationship. After knowing the relationship, what must you do? Relationship, then after that differentiate the relationship. Okay, write down the relationship, differentiate. So differentiate, the relationship is A equals to pi r squared. Then when I differentiate, dA over dr is 2 pi r. What is the next step? After gathering the numbers, after finding out dA, dr, what is the next step?
Quote the formula.
Correct. What is the formula for this topic? What is the formula for this topic?
Delta Y over delta X equal to dy dx.
Now in this case, delta
delta
del,
A over R.
delta A over delta R equals to dA over dr, right? So delta A over delta R, dA dr is, you have found out here, 2 pi r. So delta A over delta R is 2 pi r. Okay, this is the formula for this topic. What is the next step?
Substitute the value.
Correct, substitute the value inside. So when you substitute the value inside, delta A you don't know, you have to find out, right? The delta R you know, 2 pi you know, R, the problem now is there are two R, R1 and R2. Which one you substitute inside? You substitute R1 because normally R1 is a whole number. So you can substitute R1 inside. The other number is like this. It's a decimal. So the 2 by R, the R here you substitute R1, not the R2. Okay or not? So when you do this and you bring over the number 0.2, the answer delta A is 0.2 pi centimeters, square centimeter. Okay, now how you interpret this answer? Delta A is this number. So in words, I do one in symbol like this. In words, how can you explain this number? What is delta A?
0.2 pi.
Delta A is the small change in A.
Of
Delta A is,
area.
okay. So the small change in A is 0.2 pi. That means the area increase or decrease by 0.2 pi. Here. So therefore the area increases by 0.2 pi. Area increases here means the delta A, the small change in A, the small change in A. And what is the small change in A? 0.2 pi. So if you don't believe, because you are not supposed to use calculator in this question, but let's say you use calculator, you substitute this number inside the formula, then you take this number, substitute inside this formula, take this number, substitute inside this formula, and you take the A2 minus the A1, see whether you get this number or not. You try using your calculator, can or not? Now you try and see, then you tell me what is the answer. You know what I'm talking about or not? Take 5, put inside the pi r square here, find out one answer. Take 5.02, put inside here, find out the A. Then you take A2 minus A1, see whether you can get this answer or not. Can see or not?
Wait, that teacher.
Huh? What is the answer then? How many pi?
0.2004.
0.2004. So it's approximately 0.2 pi. It's approximately 0.2 pi. So that means it is correct. Our small change is correct. It's a 0.25. Actually, it's 0.2004. Right, so this is correct. But in the exam, can you use the even if you have the calculator, don't use the calculator to calculate. You must use delta A over delta R equals to dA over dR to find the small change. You don't go and use the A1 minus A2 minus A1, cannot. You have to use differentiation. Can understand what I'm telling you or not?
Yes, teacher.
Any question you want to ask?
No.
No, okay, no. Then we look at another example called approximation. Okay.